Could you just a little bit explain about what the natural level of caution or fear was that was intended for humans in order to not damage the physical apparatus?
Well,
Because I've gotten to the point now where even if I see a car swerve in front of me, you know, the first thing is like, ooh, that was scary. And then the next thought is, oh, I could get to a point where I just allow the molecules to relax a little bit and the car just goes through me and there's no danger there. So what is the natural level of caution that we were intended to have to protect the apparatus?
When your desire is clear, and in this instance we would assume it would be to live a long, healthy, happy physical experience relative to the safety in an automobile, let's say. When your desire is clear and you observe an experience that seems to contradict or not match your desire, the natural experience is for there to be a feeling of fluctuation in your solar plexus that let you know, in this moment I am vibrationally deviating from my own desire, so that you can consciously relax and bring yourself back into balance. In other words, nothing in all of the universe is more natural than negative positive emotion, because the positive emotion is your indicator of alignment with source energy and desire. The negative emotion is your indicator of misalignment. What happens to most, however, is they find the feeling place, usually without meaning to, of negative emotion. Anger, fear, whatever it is. Usually anger or fear, those are the predominant categories, but there are others. Guilt is another big one. They feel the negative emotion, and then they take action from that feeling place. They say something, they do something, which compounds the negative emotion, so they take themselves further from their alignment rather than bringing themselves closer to it. So the natural, getting to the very heart of your important question, the natural state of physical awareness is to be sensitive to the fluctuation in the early subtle stages so that you can reclaim your balance before you've stayed in that 17 seconds plus 17 seconds plus 17 seconds place of attracting something much bigger and badder. You reach the place. Jerry and Esther were driving recently. They had a friend in the back seat, and Jerry and Esther were riding in the front seat, and Esther was driving, and it was pouring down torrential rain, nothing like they had seen in a long time, 5 inches of rain in an hour or something, just as Jerry and Esther and their friend were driving into Boston to meet another friend for dinner. And you could not see. Esther was asking Abraham to drive because she could not see with her eyes, but she could feel that all was well, and there were very good markers on the road, so she had a rather clear sense of where she was going. And so they're moving down the road, and they're just chatting away, and Esther didn't realize that both people with her were feeling a little uncomfortable because Esther was feeling ease about all of it. And so as they were driving, and there were several people 3 or 4 lanes astride, and the person in the lane next to Esther, when he pushed on his brakes, his car veered to the left. And Esther somehow had sensed that it was going to happen, and she had looked in her mirror just ahead of that, and she veered with him. It looked like a synchronistic dancing. And Esther did not even break conversation. In other words, it just felt so natural, and until she looked in the rearview mirror and saw the look on the face of the woman, because it must have been a very close call, but Esther had no sense of that. In other words, everything felt in perfect harmony. In other words, in time, you get such a sense of well-being that you just know all is really well with me, regardless of the appearances around. All really is well, and when you finally gather that knowing, then the conditions of your experience, in other words, if Esther were really in vibrational harmony with her core, she would have canceled that meeting in Boston. In other words, intuitively she knew that it was silly to drive in such a terrible rainstorm, but she also knew that they could do it while not with ease, that they could do it with safety. And so they made a decision to go ahead with it, because while it may not be the most comfortable, joyful drive in the world, it was doable. Mm-hmm. Well, we would like it if Esther and Jerry and all of you would reach the place where you never do anything because it's possible. In other words, you keep trying to prove that it's possible. We would like you to make all of your decisions from the place of, is this really utterly a perfect vibrational match in all ways? Which means, will it be fun? Will it unfold joyfully? Will it make my heart sing? In other words, that's what's natural. What's natural is only and always gravitating to your highest good. That's what's natural, you see. What's natural is feeling good, but it takes a lot of doing to convince you guys that it's all right to do what feels good. Because you've been stacking up your beliefs against everybody else's beliefs for so long, you're not even sure what is good. You're not sure what's right and wrong. On your deathbed, many of you join a religion just in case they were right. What if I get up there and they were right and I'm without my credentials? So in the hallway of the hospital are all the religions lined up to give you whatever you need so that you've got all the papers you need to cross into the hereafter. You don't really trust that what feels good is good because you've guided yourself through so many other measures, you see. But you'll reach the place. So let us restate it. We want it to be in a very clear, succinct way. What is the natural human condition? Bliss, pleasure, joy, confidence, appreciation, love, well-being, wellness, abundance. That is what is natural. And if you are deviating in any way, it's because you are letting the conditions that you have observed around you dominate your output, and the universe is responding to your output.